Welcome to the 6th Annual Global Connected Aircraft Summit in sunny San Diego, where we bring together airlines from across the country and the companies that provide their connectivity. Come with us as we share with you the insights and best practices from the movers and shakers in the industry. All right, welcome back to Global Connected Aircraft Summit 2019. We're here in San Diego. I'm at the HCL booth here with Sabi, and we're going to learn a little bit more about his company. So first, tell us your full name, and then tell us a little bit about your company.
Sure, thank you, Michael. My name is Siba Satpathy. I'm a Senior Vice President in HCL, and I head the Aerospace, Defense and Aviation sector for the company.
Tell us a little bit more about HCL and what you guys provide, your services.
Sure. HCL is a global company, $8.5 billion in revenue, 130,000 plus people. It's headquartered in India, but it's as global in its operations as like any other company. We operate in 42 odd countries, a very large presence in North America, in Europe. Roughly 60% of our revenue comes from the North America. I would say around 20-25% from the Europe, and rest is the rest of the world. There are four major services that we offer to our customers. Engineering and technology, which is largely relevant for this conference. There is IT applications, IT infrastructure management, and business process services. Now, these are the four foundational services. And on top of that, now we are investing into the new age technologies.
So we're here at the connectivity conference, or focusing on that. How do you guys support that with your services?
So like I talked about the engineering and technology services, right? We focus on 9 different industry verticals. Aviation, aerospace and defense is one industry sector that I'm responsible for. There are similar other industries like consumer electronics is one, industrial is one, automotive, medical devices, ISV and online, high tech and networking, and office automation. So there are similar different industries. The way we go to the market, we bring in all our horizontal technical capabilities, and we bring an industry wrapper around that and then offer it to our customers. For example, in the aviation and in this summit context, we work with airlines, we work with the OEMs like the Boeing and Airbus of the world, or the business jet market. We work with the tier 1 companies like the Collins Aerospace and Parker and Honeywell of the world, and sometimes we work with the tier 2 companies as well. Outside that, we work with some of the infrastructure providers, the SATCOM companies, some of the airport and infrastructure providers. So that's the landscape in which we operate. And the 4 foundational services that we talk about, we bring them all in, bring in the domain knowledge of the industry, and then offer it to our customers for transformational solutions.
What sort of trends are you guys seeing in the aircraft industry, or maybe other industries that you think could have really apply to the aircraft industry?
There are 4 major stakeholders the way we see it for this industry. The infrastructure providers, it could be the airport companies, the SATCOM companies, the SATCOM infrastructure providers, then the airlines and the value chain, the airlines, then you have the OEMs that are giving the aircrafts, and then the system providers. There are some trends that are relevant for some of these players. We heard some of the speakers speak in the morning about SATCOM and what's happening in that world. OEMs are trying to develop aircrafts with newer and newer features. But if you ask me, if I were to break it down where I think things are headed, connected operations. Everybody's talking about it. There is a lot of hype about the words connected aircraft and connected passengers and everything. But when it comes down to why you want to do something like this, right? For the airlines or the OEM companies, so largely for the airlines, I would say, they want to reduce their cost of operations and increase their efficiency. Now, can I run more routes? Can I run, can I use my assets better? How do I reduce my cost? So I think one thing is that how do I use technology for connected operations, right? The second, and this again across all the stakeholders, second is the more and more digital aircraft. Now, this is nothing new. The aircrafts in the past also had a lot of software, just that the content is only going up and it's becoming hyper and hyper connected. And then the infrastructure being available, you can do a lot more. So I would say the second one is digital aircraft. And the third one is engaged customers. And everybody's talking about passenger experience. Now, what happens, the way I see it, is that when you talk about, let's say, passenger experience, you're only focusing on the passenger inside the aircraft. But I think once you have a passenger, you have a loyalty, you should look at the experience of that passenger even outside the aircraft, and how engaged is that passenger as a customer to you with your organization, that drives loyalty and that drives your brand up. So connected operations, everybody's talking about how do you bring new technologies. So the biggest technology that we see applicable from other industries is track and trace. We see track and trace being applied in medical device industry, being applied in industrial sectors, and that can be brought into driving, let's say, baggage tracking, driving your asset tracking, your systems, your technical manuals, and there are a lot of things that you can, or even in the hangar, you can track your tools, and that can drive efficiency. So simple things like that can drive your efficiency up, and you can have your whole enterprise connected. So that's the efficiency part. The digital aircraft has two aspects to it. One is obviously there is a big battle going on between the airlines and the OEM guys who owns the data. So obviously I'm not going to get all the data, but whatever data I get and then what data I generate, then how do I run my assets the most efficient way? How do I keep my assets utilized better? So that's the digital aircraft part. And that's again a collaboration of both the OEMs and the airlines. They both have to come together to solve this problem. The engaged part where I think most airlines are missing out, in my view, is that they're only taking a narrow view of what I can do with the passengers once they are in my plane or they have a ticket. The way we have helped some of our customers transform, and time permitting, I'll give an example, how we took Manchester United, for example. You go and watch a play. Manchester United is possibly the largest soccer franchise in the world. Now the franchise for a long time thought that once the players are inside the stadium, they're watching a game, then how do I keep them engaged with me? And then you buy tickets on their app, and that's all that it did. The way we transform that is that how do you now keep these millions of fans that you have hooked on your platform, so even when they went out, they are writing comments, they're talking about players, they're checking players' health, they're buying merchandise, they're writing comments about who should be the dream team. There is a lot more involvement, and so now they are innovating with their passengers, with their fans, even when they're not inside the stadium. And that increases your revenue opportunity for the organization. I think that's how we believe airlines should look at engaged customers and not just passenger experience.
One other hot topic is machine learning and AI. That's across multiple industries. How is that sort of playing a part in aircraft connectivity and just the whole operation?
One example I think you possibly can see in our booth here as well, we are investing into image recognition. Now this technology is not aerospace technology, by the way. We brought it from consumer electronics industry. Consumer electronics is advanced in terms of facial recognition. From there they can read emotions. So image recognition, audio recognition, video recognition, and stitching of images, that's a consumer electronics industry capability that we are bringing into aerospace and making writing models that can make intelligent analysis of what the general mood of the passengers could be. Or let's say there is a flight is delayed and then you're watching, and let's say that you have the facial recognition, you know what their mood is, and you possibly can go and proactively approach them and do something. Or let's say you served a meal and you suddenly might find out whether the meal was good or not just from the facial recognition. This is just a crude example, and there are a lot of different ways. Another could be a safety application. Right, you don't want a certain person, if you do a video analytics and then you run an algorithm on that, if you see a person who shouldn't be going towards, let's say, the cockpit or trying to open the door, and that's actually a threat for the aircraft, you could stop that unauthorized access. Or let's say someone who's walking, an old person is walking to the bathroom, and suddenly that person is going to fall, because you can predict from the posture that the person might fall and might have a heart attack or might have an illness that you can go and attend to, or maybe the flight attendant can do something. This could be a health or a security. There could be a lot of different applications. That's where you can use, and not necessarily just say I want to do machine learning, but see what problem you're trying to solve in that.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.